So my timing last night actually wasn't bad. As it turned out, it started raining right about when dinner was ready. Also, I used my inReach to message Taters and ask about the Shaw's situation. And yeah, sure enough, I guess 3 employees have COVID. So there is an older gentleman a little ways behind me who unfortunately was not able to get vaccinated before he got on the trail. And he said he didn't make it a priority and he thinks he may have it. So yeah, have I mentioned I just don't like the entire situation around Shaw's? Yesterday went better than intended. I managed to make a little over 20 miles. The weather was better than the forecast. There was rain in the morning, but other than that, it was actually pretty nice, good hiking temperature. It's windy and cooler this morning, so we'll see what it does. Last forecast I saw, it's supposed to get better Saturday and Sunday. Now, it's currently Friday. I should make it to Herd, which is the last shelter before Able Bridge tonight. I could make Able Bridge, but I guess you're not guaranteed to camp there, and especially being, Labor Day weekend, probably not a good idea to count on it. Then Saturday night, I'll be at the Birches, which is unfortunately only 10 miles. I would rather go up and over Katahdin, but I'm concerned about setting myself up for success since I've got a heavier pack and I got to get up and over. So that would set me for doing Katahdin on Sunday. And I am incredibly looking forward to being on the IAT and away from the crowds and all of this. So as I've said before, I don't have a whole lot of context for the Appalachian Trail. It was always just, oh yeah, that thing over there with all the crowds. It is interesting talking to people, especially those that did the trail a number of years ago and kind of finding what the changes on it have been. I was talking to Rocky yesterday, who was out here in 2015, and he said at the time slack packing was almost unknown versus, here it's like everywhere. Also, I've talked to a couple of different people out here who've said that doing like the 100-mile wilderness in a go, like I'm doing, carrying all your food, was like a big thing. And these days, it really doesn't seem to be. I mean, Shaw's has, I think, 3 different drop-off points. And I was talking to some folks yesterday who said they actually saw a group dropped off. So people are doing, not only getting like food drops along the way, but you can go part of the way, get ferried back to Shaw's, take a shower, eat, sleep in a bed, potentially get COVID, and then come back out and do the rest of it. So, I mean, this section really is no different than any other section of the AT. As far as my food, I'm going to have enough to make it through to Able, but I'm not quite as hardy as I would have preferred to be. I went kind of heavy on bars and things. I wanted to save weight, leaving Shaw's. So it's enough calories to get through, but it's not really the stuff you want. I saw somebody else posted a resupply when I had reception the other day, and they had all this like candy and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. When I was buying my resupply at Shaw's, I found what looked like a $5 bag of trail mix. And I'm like, oh, big bag of trail mix. That'll be good. That'll be hearty. That'll kind of fill in. Turns out it was dried fruit. It was in a bag that was like not clear, and I didn't repackage it while I was there. So that's the one thing that I would have changed. If I had like a nice big thing of trail mix, that would have helped kind of like pad a bit. Instead, calories. Also, it's kind of funny how my taste in coffee and whatnot changes over time. For the longest time, the Starbucks Via Colombian was like my go-to and what I really craved. And that was the stuff I saved when I had like mixed types. At the moment, Colombian Taster's Choice it tastes way better, just tastes fuller. But of course, my lovely girlfriend sent me enough Colombian to last me for weeks. So, okay, early start this morning. Up and over a peak. It's only about 1,000 feet up. The gut hook comments are moaning loudly about it as usual. Kind of wonder if some of those people actually hiked here from Georgia or not. So that's Katahdin, 16 miles away, straight line. Well, hopefully if anybody's summiting today, they're above the clouds, but I've seen a lot of the summit shots at Katahdin seem to be cloudy. Okay, I did not spend much time up there because it is cold and it looks like there is a moderate rainstorm blowing towards me. Moment I checked the reception, I checked the weather, I got warnings that something was on its way. So I'm trying to get down as quick as I can before it hits. So interestingly enough, it doesn't seem like the Shaw's thing has been generally publicized. Jen called them and was able to get confirmation that 3 people had it there, but I was kind of expecting an announcement from the ATC or Shaw's itself. Seems like they did that when they had the cook in downtown Monson who had it. But oh well, I have no idea what the situation is, quite frankly. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Kind of a bummer about the cell reception out here. I've got 3 videos all ready to go and no way to upload them. The AT&T LTE out here is so slow, it would drain my battery completely before I managed to get anything up. So you might not be seeing this likely till I'm over Katahdin, hopefully. So far, just a bit of rain. This is Poliwag Gorge I'm descending into. Okay, so also it turns out you have to be starting the ascent of Katahdin by 10 a.m. Otherwise, it's a no-go. Lots of boats randomly tied up around these lakes. Getting kind of close. Spring with a view. Weather's still a little bit unsettled, but the rain's just been drips off and on. Storms have been coming off and on here. Last one was enough. I actually put my rain gear on. I swear. I am tired, hungry, and grumpy. Well, there's Katahdin, getting closer. Okay, I just went past Herd. Looks like there were 5 or 6 people there, but I don't know if they're northbound, southbound, what have you. I'm kind of set on going to Able Bridge at this point. So it's only 5 o'clock. I guess there's a chance that the Able Bridge store will be open when I get there. I'm basically just trying to make it in best time. Then if I can resupply tonight, that might put me at an advantage in the morning. I can go to the check-in. I heard they had 3 cases. Just got to get up there. And this park is making it as big of a pain in the ass as possible. Oh, this doesn't look promising. Well, that doesn't suck too much. Home sweet home for the night. Also, the sunset looks way better in person. Okay, how much is this stressing me out? Well, I only had a single cup of coffee and now I'm headed for the Birches sign up. And I'm not happy about it. Oh shit, that would be the Dirty Bubbles support vehicle. Maybe this is gonna be busier than I thought. Oh, part of me really just wishes I had finished today. Okay, I assume this must be it. Okay, worst case has happened. There were 3 people over the 12, so no Birches tonight. Looks like my best option is I'm gonna go back, arrange a campsite for tonight, hopefully. And then I get to hike 5 miles up to get my permit because the permits are only issued at 7 a.m. And then I'm gonna have to leave here at 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow and just do a very, very long day. Okay, I feel like my emotions are just being toyed with here. Apparently, the Dirty Bubble wants to summit together, so they've now backed off and they've canceled their slots. So I'm running back up to talk to Tim and I may get to the Birches tonight. Okay, I am officially good to go. I have a site at the Birches, meaning I have 5 miles to the summit tomorrow. It's going to be 11 total to get me up and over Katahdin, and then I just have to keep going until I get out of the park. So it's going to be long but doable. So what happened, I woke up, got here at 6:15 or so, only to find there were already 14 people waiting for the 12 slots. The Dirty Bubble had caught up, so they had a group of 6. One of them wasn't able to get a slot for the Birches, so they were making contingency plans. And then I went back to go get breakfast at the campground, and I was just waiting on whether I could get a site for tonight and eating breakfast, and they decided to wait till they could all summit together, so I lucked out. So I have a 10-mile hike to get to Katahdin Stream Campground, get my permit so I'm all good to go in the morning, get to the Birches, spend one night there, and tomorrow's summit day. I just spent about an hour chatting with Tim at the entry station back there, just talking over all the issues around, you know, crowds and kind of the business model of some of the surrounding hostels and how that's changed the 100-mile wilderness. Unfortunately, a lot of these problems that I'm grumbling about, there really is no easy solution. You know, the numbers of people that want to come out here are kind of growing. He said they had record numbers that have reached Katahdin. And, you know, the AT is going to be hard to permit and control just because it's too accessible. You know, you're close to towns. People can just claim their day hiking. I mean, how are you going to enforce permits out here? Okay, so this must be the Blueberry Trail. I was psyching myself up for hiking that to get my permit and then coming back. So instead, I get to do twice as long along the AT to get to the same point. I swear, this has been such an emotional roller coaster this morning. In the last few days, everybody's been so freaking stressed about getting here and getting a spot at the Birches, only to get here this morning and, yeah, realize the worst case had come true. So the other thing that really helped me out, turned out there was power in the bathroom last night, so I was able to get my rechargeable battery pack charged. So I should have enough power to get over to Chase Mountain Lodge, which is my 45-mile past Katahdin resupply point. And hopefully they have affordable rooms because I'm going to be ready for a hotel night. I think I'm ready now. It was interesting to find out that Shaw's and the Millinock Hostel are both owned by the same people. And, you know, they're the ones that are really pushing all the food drops and, you know, people pickups and drop-offs in the 100-mile wilderness, which is kind of exacerbating the whole problem here. Because instead of everybody kind of spreading out in the 100-mile wilderness, people are going through at different speeds and coming and going. So you can't really predict when you're going to get here and whether you're going to have a lot of people or not. Also, they are still not officially announcing that they have a COVID outbreak. It's been just word of mouth along the trail, letting people know. There's people that are potentially infected wandering through the 100-mile wilderness that just don't know. I was expecting, you know, an email from them or at least the ATC, but nope. So the weather tomorrow, there is a chance of rain, but not until 5 p.m. So hopefully, assuming I get an early start and everything, I'll be up and over before I have to worry about the wet. If you've been following these videos, then obviously you know I'm kind of down on the AT. And I know there's a lot of people where this is just a special trail that they have a history with and they had an awesome experience. And that's awesome. Just, you know, I'm coming at this from mostly hiking out west and more kind of wildernessy situations. And that's more what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to capture how it felt for me, not saying, oh, you shouldn't enjoy this. Now, am I telling people who are kind of in the same boat and maybe not enjoying all aspects of this that maybe they should consider doing the PCT? Hell yes, because I'm a nice guy and I want people to enjoy things and be inspired to go do things. And quite frankly, I had a way better experience on the PCT thus far. And I don't think Katahdin's gonna like pull that out and make this kind of, you know, top the PCT at this rate. I will join the chorus saying Tim, the guy that does the check-ins back there, is just a super nice guy. Really, you know, seems to care. He's patient and he does whatever he can to you while setting reasonable expectations about, you know, what's possible and what's not. There are some awesome opportunities for swimming along here, you know, if it wasn't so bloody cold. Also, there are a lot of people out here who are trying to meet, you know, friends, family, etc. on the summit or around here, and that is just causing people no end of stress and hassle. You want my advice, just plan on coming up here, finishing the peak, and meet them outside of the park down in Millinock or something. I mean, I get it. I tried to do that with Taters last year on the PCT, and I had this image of like coming back to Hart's Pass because we had to do out and back. And then she'd be there and it would be all cool. And the universe goes out of its way to try to screw you over on that. So we met in town. I had a day or two to myself and, you know, that worked out. Also, I pictured coming out of like alpine Cascade style forests and like there would be the road. It really isn't that at Hart's Pass. It's much more kind of like barren than you'd think. All the stress of the last few days, and especially this morning, just has me freaking exhausted. So when I was hiking that last bit of 100-mile wilderness last night, I ran into somebody that we talked, because they were kind of upset when I showed up out of nowhere. I guess they'd been hiking along just in tears due to the stress of this whole, 12-person limit. I don't know what they did. They were talking about just doing the big hike, so maybe they ended up doing that this morning. So much for this but just being a flat bike path to the campground. It's not bad, but it is the occasional pay attention. Especially when these boards are wet, they're about the most dangerous thing out here. Okay, it's Hardened Stream Campground, and that would be the closure sign I was warned about. Busy. Aha, found the ranger. Okay, good thing I didn't hurry, because I've got 3 hours to wait now. So because this is the AT, which is of course synonymous with slack packing these days, they actually provide an area for you to drop your heavy gear, and there's actually a pile of day packs over by the office that you can use. Ranger showed up early. There are advantages to hanging out. Okay, welcome to what is very hopefully my last night on the AT. And for my sins, I get to spend the last night on the AT in a busy-ish shelter area. Okay, 7 o'clock, everybody's pretty much turning in because we're all planning to be up dark 30 and get started at first light. Just 5 miles to Katahdin. Home sweet home for the night.